my channel. Guess what today is? Today is tutorial day, where I want to show you how to make something really creative with some yarn. So I will be showing you how to make my stay home crochet slippers using really colorful yarn and a crochet hook. So join me and let's get creating. Part one, we will need a pair of scissors, a marker, a small hook. I recommend the 2mm, and we need your thong, of course, or your flip-flop, a piece of paper and a small ruler. Let's get started, guys. I've got them. Oh, and also the hot glue gun, which I've already got warmed up. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our thong and we're going to get rid of the straps. Now, I'm going to cut it at the base. We're going to cut it here too. You might need quite sharp, large scissors for this one. Now, the actual preparing the sole for the shoe is the hardest part of this make. It's a little bit tricky, as you can see, but the crochet part is actually quite easy and fun. So one more to go. A bit of strength for this. There you are. Put this on the side. Now the little things that come off we want to keep, because you can see there is a hole there. So we want to completely block that so water doesn't get into your thong. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some hot glue so that it will be sealed and we can still use it without getting, it still be fairly waterproof. So just a little bit more with some hot glue. Now if you don't have hot glue around, don't stress. Try some super glue, will work well. So while we get this dry, we'll mark out where the stitches are going to go using that piece of paper that I showed you earlier. Okie dokie. So careful with hot glue, obviously. It's hot. So just a little bit more. And there we are. So we'll let that dry. And now what we're going to do while that dries is we're going to trace your shoe size onto a piece of paper, which we can use it as a guide when we're going to make holes onto the thong. Okay. Now I recommend using a flip-flop or thong that is half a size bigger than you usually wear, only because when you build up your shoe, your crochet shoe, it will tighten. We will tighten the shoe. So if it's too small, then you might find that after you crochet, it's not going to fit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure where we're going to do puncture some holes where the stitches will go. We want to make them 1 centimeter apart and about 1 centimeter, or about 1 centimeter away from the edge of the sole. Now we don't want to make it too close together, because when you puncture the hole, you don't want to split the foam of the shoe. So I'm going to go all the way along and I'll meet you back at the start. Okay guys, so I have finished. I have measured all the way around the size of my foot, measuring where I'm going to puncture holes into the sole of my shoe. So the next thing we need that I forgot to mention was a very sharp darning needle. So something along this line will be suitable. So it has to be big enough and strong enough that we'll be able to go through the rubber of your sole. So let's begin. I will start on this side and show you how we do it. So that's where I want to puncture my hole, and we're going to go through right to the middle of the sole, so at an angle. So let's just start. So here we go, push through, and there it is. We're coming out through that side. Now, if you have a light colored sole, you might want to just mark your dot straight onto the shoe, but it'll be really hard for me to see it, so I've used the paper. So let's go to the next dot. Now, this is a great upcycle project because you don't need to purchase a new pair of thongs. If you have, or flip-flops, if you've got some at home that you don't use and the sole's still pretty good, why not use those and jazz them up instead of buying a new pair? But if you do need to buy a new pair, they're fairly inexpensive. So we're going to go all the way along. Now this step is the step that is probably the most tedious. But it's not that hard, guys. So with the types of flip-flops or thongs you should use, I recommend one with a softer sole. I know there's quite a different varieties out there. There's some that the actual sole bit is more like a really hard rubber. I wouldn't recommend those because it's going to be impossible for you to manually create these holes all the way through. So stick to the spongy foam like. So I'm going to keep going, guys. I'm going to keep going all the way around, creating these little holes throughout my shoe, and I'll meet you back at the start. Now, it's a fun decision. What color should we do for our shoe? So we've got lots of cotton here. So I've got yellow, a peach pink. Oh, what is this? Like a mint, a light blue, a lavender, a dark and denim blue. So all these are makr Lincraft cotton. They're 8-ply, 100% cotton. I strongly recommend using 100% cotton. It just is more, it's going to give you more durability. You can try the cotton blends, like 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. That still should be okay. I also have a recycled version, recycled cotton by Annette Erickson, which I love. I've made bags with these ones. And also I would highly recommend the Lion Brand 24/7 mercerized cotton. It is super strong and the stitch definition is fantastic. Now I already have shoes made with this color, so I'm going to give this color a miss today and decided that the blue and the yellow are going to look really lovely. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to also bring some color with the lavender later on. Okay guys, so I'm going to start with the yellow. I want that to form the base of my shoe, and I will then later on I'll introduce a contrast color. So how do we start? I start at the corner, and we need to put a hook through from right through to the middle of the sole, and we're going to then pull through our cotton. Now this is where the smaller hook sides is a little bit tricky because it's a bit hard to drag the, here we are, and we're going to single crochet without trying to split the yarn, because ideally this will be a 4mm hook will be ideal for this yarn. All right, so then we go to the next little hole and we drag the yarn through again. The only thing here is that you don't want to split your rubber, so take it slow. And again, it's hard because my yarn is splitting. All right. Then we go to the next one, which I believe, it's hard to see, but I think it's here. Single crochet, and to the next. Now the stitches are going to be wide apart, but don't worry, we can put 2 single crochet together on our first round. So this one is going to be a slow process because it's tricky to put your hook through the sole, but again, take your time. No, that was the chaining one. Okay, so next hole is here. Crochet, then single crochet along, and next stitch. And then whoop, single crochet, and then the next one, as you can hardly see actually, must be here. Now, I guess you can probably create a hole with your hook straight away, but it's probably wiser to already create a hole. Okay, and single crochet, next hole, single crochet, and that's what we're going to do, guys, all the way along to the other side. Okay guys, so we're finished creating the base of your shoe by single crocheting all the way along through the sole of your flip-flop. Now we have, to complete the round, we have slip stitched to the first single crochet, and I put a marker there so we know where the start of our round is. And now we're ready to build up. So this will be part 2 of our tutorial. I will start building up the shoe by single crocheting all the way around for a total of 4 rounds. Now at the corners, like here, there, and there, as well as here, I will do 3 single crochets into each stitch to allow for room for your heel and for your toes. So let's begin. So now we can swap from our 2mm hook, which served us really well. Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of our crochet tutorial of how to make some stay-home crochet loafers. So this is where I left you on my last tutorial. We've worked 4 rows of single crochets around our initial foundation chain that we actually punched through our sole. So that was the trickiest part of this project. And now we're just going to build up from the rows that we've created. So now let's start where we left off. Oh, before I do that, let me go through the plan. This is a schematic diagram of my shoe, and I've divided it into the heel section, the front, the sides. So the trick is to make sure that the shoe is symmetrical. So whatever you do to one side of the shoe will be symmetrical or the same as the other side. So I have set aside 16 single crochets for the heel, 8 for the sides, and 28 single crochets for the front, and I have marked those on my shoe with markers. So you can see that right here. We've got the heel and the front marked. So the first thing we're going to do is single crochet from the start of our round, which was here for me. I have already removed the marker, which will not be needed anymore. So I'll single crochet all the way to the beginning of my front of the heel. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some single crochet back loop only, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's remove the marker, and we're starting from here, and single crochet back loop only means this. So you know that our stitch has two chains, the front and the back. So single crochet back loop only means that you're just going to insert your hook in that back loop and you do a single crochet, and we're going to do that all the way along till we get to the other side, and I'll see you there. I'm going to single crochet back loop only all the way to the other marker. So I'll put the pink marker here to tell me what the middle of the work is. So because I'm going to start my puff diamond kind of motif from the middle, so I'm just going to keep moving my markers along. So all the way till the end. All right, so when we get to the last stitch, that will be 28 single crochets. I still will do back loop only. I'll remove my marker, and what I'm going to do is slip stitch in both loops to the next stitch over. I'm going to turn my work. I'm not going to chain one. I'm going to skip that single crochet that I just that slip stitch and go straight onto this one here. And that just means I've anchored my work to the side of the shoe and gives it a nicer shape. So I'm just going to single crochet all the way along to the other side. This will be around 2 of my front of the heel of the shoe. This will work up really quickly, guys. It shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Now we're going to shape the shoe and decrease by slip stitches, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Sorry, my yarn got tangled. Replace markers as you go along. So as we did before, we're going to now slip stitch in the last, slip stitch in the last stitch, and we're going to turn. We're going to skip that slip stitch, and we're going to start single crocheting from here. So in effect, we are reducing our count to now 27, and we'll do the same to the other side. So by the end of this round, we've reduced by 2. So I will meet you back on the other marker where we're going to slip stitch on the last stitch before we turn. Okay, so we're back. So we end of round 3. I'm going to slip stitch on the last stitch. I'm not adding a chain 1 at the turning point because I just don't want to have that extra bump on my rows. I'm just simply turning. I'm skipping this slip stitch and going single crochet here. So I'm reducing a stitch at a time on both sides to give it a nice shape, start shaping the shoe. Now this is a puff stitch round, guys, round 4. So what we're going to do is work right to the middle marker, and we're going to do a puff stitch there. You can do it the same color, the main color. My son was saying to me that he didn't like the colors that I chose, but I should have chosen darker colors. Well, it's just really hard because I always tend to go for the bright. I just can't help it. I always say, no, I'll do neutral today, or I'll do a brown or a gray, and then I always return to color. All right, so if you decide you're going to use a contrast color, I can show you how to transition into a new color more seamlessly. I know with knitting, it's much easier to exchange colors, but with crochet, you have to be more conscientious of how you do it. So the stitch prior to you change your colors, where you start preparing. So here we are. So this is where we're going to introduce the puff stitch. So we're going to start changing colors in this stitch. So I'm going to pull through, and we're going to finish the stitch with the blue, not with the yellow, even though this is not going to be a blue stitch. We've already prepared to start using the blue. And so that was more of a seamless transition. Now, a puff stitch. Have you guys used a puff stitch before? I love them. They give lots of texture and they're quite fun to make. So I'm going to carry the blue and the yellow behind the stitch. I'm going to put my hook through. Oops, not like that. My hook through the chain. Pull a loop, yarn over. I want to do this 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Usually puff stitches are 5 of these, but just to make it extra puffy, I add an extra yarn over. Then, oops, before I do that, I want to pull through both my blue and the yellow, so then I can then quickly start using the yellow right afterwards. So pull through both. To close the puff stitch, we do a single crochet. This is not included as a stitch count. That's just for completeness of that puff stitch. Then we'll change to the yellow and single crochet in the next. There we are. There's a little puff stitch. And now we're going to continue along single crocheting till the second last stitch. And this last stitch we will do a slip stitch. That's the second last stitch, single crochet here, and we will slip stitch in the last stitch. We will turn and we'll skip the last single crochet, the last slip stitch, sorry, sure we put through both, go through both loops. Yeah, that's better. So usually you chain one so that you can more easily single crochet in the next stitch, but I really want to make it quite tight. This is a slip stitch. We'll skip that one and go through a single crochet in the next one, and by doing so we are decreasing by 1. In this row we're just going to go single crochet all the way along, guys, so I'll meet you back here. Okay guys, so this is our next puff row. We're going to do 2 puff stitches either side of the first one. So we're going to single crochet, so after turning, skipping the slip stitch and single crocheting in the next stitch, we're going to continue single crocheting all the way to just before our puff stitch. Now I'll show you again how we change our to the contrast color. Okay, so we're going to finish this stitch in blue. So I didn't cut the yarn, I just continued through using it. And now this is our puff stitch right here. So put a yellow yarn behind, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop. This is my second time. I'm going to repeat that 6 times. I hope I've got a better angle of my camera. I keep playing around with it. Still not happy with how the angle, but I hope this is okay for you guys. One more. Now I'm going to finish off my puff stitch by pulling through both my colors and then closing my puff stitch, the single crochet, which does not count as a stitch. I'm going to let go of my blue and do a single crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to do another puff stitch straight away in blue. Now I don't think it matters which side you do your puff stitch. I just whether it's the wrong side or the right side round, I just found that doing it on the even row just popped out a little bit more. All right, so then we'll close the puff stitch with both. No, I don't think I did that one properly. I didn't carry the color through the back. That's okay. Let's do that again. All right, so my yellow should be right behind the loop, so I can carry it through. Oh, I still didn't do that right. Okay, let's start again. Yarn over, pull up a loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more, 6, and stretch it out, and I'm going to close it. That's right. I'm going to let go of the blue now, and I'm going to continue single crocheting to the end of the round. Now come to the last stitch of our round. You will slip stitch this and turn. Okay guys, so this round I'm going to do some single crochet decreases. We're now going to try to finish off shaping the front of our shoe. I'm going to single crochet 4 and do a single crochet 2 together to decrease by 1 on this side, and I will repeat it on the other side as well in the same spot. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to single crochet 2 together, decreasing by 1, and then single crochet all the way along until I get to the same spot on the other side of the shoe, and we will single crochet 2 together as well. And now I'm going to stop skipping the single crochet. I'm going to single crochet on that slip stitch because I don't want to reduce it further. And we're going to do our last puff stitch, guys, but I'm also going to decrease as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, single 2 together here, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to change colors in this one. So I'll be ready for my last puff stitch. Now I'll have written instructions on my blog. Oh, one just got stuck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we close our puff stitch. Oh, I have to close it with the 2, like my yellow as well. And there we are. We finished our little motif. So we can cut our yarn off here. I will carry it through in the next couple of stitches to secure it down. I mean the blue yarn, I mean. So let me just find the next stitch. Just double checking where I'm going to single crochet 2 together, and I'm going to do that right here. And then continue to right to the end, and I'm not slip stitching anymore. I'm just going to single crochet in that last stitch, which was a slip stitch, so it's quite tight. Guys, this is where we're at. We have finished our little puff stitch motif, and you can pop the pop stitches more if you like. Quite happy with that. Now I find with crochet, you still get a bit of color coming through. The transition of colors is not as neat as if you're knitting, but that's not bad. That's actually quite sweet. So we're almost finished, guys, the front. What we need to do is some further decreases to narrow this bit down. Yeah, so this round we're going to single crochet 2 together again on either side. So I'm going to turn, I'm going to single crochet 4 and decrease. And decrease here. And then single crochet across. And it's easier for me to then count backwards from here and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know these 2 will be my single crochet 2 together, just to keep it symmetrical. Remember, when you do a puff stitch, When you close the puff stitch, you're doing a single crochet. So although there's 2 stitches, only one is a true stitch. So just do that. You don't want to increase by mistake. So this was my 2 single crochet together. And single crochet 4. Almost there, guys. One more round. Oh no, actually, sorry, one more decrease round. Now, the last one is a little bit tight because I didn't include that chaining chain. All right, so now turn around. Now this one we're going to decrease 3 times. So we're going to go single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do single crochet 2 together here. Slipping. Now you might have noticed that I've changed hooks. I've got my favorite millimeter hook size is 4, and I have quite a lot of them. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together here. Another one. And finish the round. All right, guys, and so that completes our single crochets decreases to shape the front of the shoe. Again, the last one's always a little bit harder because it's quite tight. There. All right, there we are, guys. That's looking quite nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 rounds of just plain single crochet. Yeah, to finish it off. So let's do that very quickly. Hi guys, welcome to the last part of how to make a crochet slipper. We will be now working on the heel, and that will take you no time. We joined the yarn right here because we did work single crochets up to this row and then did short rows to form the front. So this is where we're going to start, and we're going to single crochet all the way along, all the way to this heel marker. Okay, we're back to the left hand side of our heel marker, and we're going to single crochet into this one, and we're going to slip stitch in the next one, and we're going to turn around. We're going to skip the slip stitch and go into the next stitch and single crochet. Something similar to we did this for the front, and every time we end the round we are decreasing by 1 at each end, and we're going to be doing this 5 times. So this is my first time, and when we get to the next marker we are going to slip stitch in the last stitch, then turn around, skip the slip stitch and single crochet across. And we're going to do that, as I said, a total of 5 times. So let me put it in speedy camera and I'll see you at the end. Okay guys, so that's our heel done. So now it's just really to finish off, we're going to do a nice little edging. So we're going to do that in the contrast color. You don't have to if you don't want to. You want it one solid color, that's fine. But I'm going to add a pop of color as I always tend to do. So I'm using this lavender. So what I'm going to do is rejoin my work here. And I'm going to do just a simple single crochet all the way along. And when you see on the side of our work, we will do a single crochet on each row, so the side of each row, and then obviously in every stitch. And then when we come up here again, we'll do single crochet along every row, and we'll continue all the way, and I'll meet you back here. Here, and we can finish off like this, guys. We can just do a single crochet border in a contrast color, and that looks quite nice as it is. Or you could have done, instead of single crochet along, you could have done a slip stitch, and that would have given you a braided effect. Or you can finish with a crab stitch border. So this is how you do a crab stitch. So we're going to work single crochets in reverse. So instead of going this way as we normally would, we're going backwards. So give ourselves some room, and we're going to put our hook on our previous stitch, and we're going to pull through a loop. Got 2 stitches there, and we're going to pull through, and we're going to work backwards like this, like a little crab, all the way along. And as we're doing, we're twisting our yarn, so we're creating a really nice little border. A little bit, it looks quite sweet. I like it. I've used it before for the neckline of sweaters, or instead of doing a ribbing, you might finish off a sleeve with a crab stitch. Is quite sweet. So what I'm going to do is just going to finish off, guys, and I'll meet you back at the start. Okay guys, we're finished. What do you think? I think they're adorable. So you can just leave them like that. I've weaved all the ends, so we're done. I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do, just because I think they look better if the flap is down, I'm just going to add a couple of stitches, and that's it. I'm going to be wearing them at home, and they're going to be super cozy.